Welcome back to another episode of our podcast. Today we have Leslie from Silent Balance, and we're diving deep into nature.
Thanks for having me, Joanna. Excited to explore the fascinating world of trees.
Absolutely. Today we're specifically looking at leafless trees and their symbolism.
Leafless trees can be surprisingly rich in meaning, spanning cultures and time.
Right. I mean, what do you think when you see a leafless tree?
It evokes a sense of vulnerability, right? Almost like it's shedding its ego.
That's an interesting analogy. So shedding leaves symbolizes transcending the ego?
Exactly, it's like embracing honesty and openness. Very powerful.
But doesn't it also symbolize death or endings?
Yes, it can. Leafless trees remind us of cycles ending, but there's hope too.
Hope amidst death. How does that work?
Well, in many cultures, a dead tree signals the end of a cycle, but also rebirth.
It's like the classic cycle of life, right?
Totally. And it reinforces the idea of growth after hardship.
So how do ancient texts interpret leafless trees?
Ancient cultures often had mixed views. Some saw it as bad luck, others as trust.
That's fascinating. What about its presence in the Bible?
The Bible often uses the leafless tree as a metaphor for spiritual caution.
Such a dual interpretation. And what does modern literature say?
It's linked to honesty and facing challenges. A leafless tree speaks to struggles.
And here's where it gets personal. How does this relate to our lives?
Well, it can teach us resilience and acceptance.
What about tattoos? I've seen some cool leafless tree tattoos.
Those tattoos illustrate personal journeys. They capture beauty and struggle. We have a few of them at Silent Balance.
Now tell me about those specific trees. What does a leafless mango tree symbolize?
A leafless mango tree stands for sincerity and purity of soul.
And what about the leafless palm tree?
The palm tree symbolizes preparation, suggesting readiness for challenges ahead.
Interesting. And a leafless tree in the desert?
That's more somber. It often denotes anxiety and spiritual fear.
Wow, it really brings depth to the meaning behind what we see.
Definitely. And let's not forget, dead trees can signify hope too.
Hope from a dead tree? I love it. Can you elaborate?
Sure. Even in death, there's potential for new life down the road.
That's a beautiful thought. It's very motivational.
It is. Plus, during tough times, leafless trees remind us of resilience.
Could we use this symbol practically in our daily lives?
Absolutely. Artwork of leafless trees can serve as reminders of persistence.
That's a lovely idea, as decor or even just in meditation.
Exactly. It helps us find beauty in moments of struggle.
Before we wrap up, what's the key takeaway for our listeners?
Embrace the leafless tree as a symbol of hope, growth, and resilience.
Perfectly put. Thanks for this enlightening conversation, Leslie.
Thank you, Joanna. It's been a pleasure exploring this with you.
And thank you to our listeners. Remember, nature can teach us so much.
Absolutely. Keep exploring with Silent Balance and stay curious.
Until next time, take care, everyone.